So it's the end of my workday, and I thought that I would show you a recreation of the eye look that I had on today. Wait, it's over here. But I just took the eye makeup off of this eye and figured I would sit down and recreate it before I wash my whole face. So here we go. Before we get started, I'm going to prime my eyelid with the Makeup by Mario Master Eye Prep and Set in the shade Deep. What I really like about this product is that you have two cream shades as well as a powder shade that you can use to set your primer if you like to do that kind of thing. Now that we've laid the primer down, I am taking the Anissa Beauty concealer brush and blending the primer out. I didn't set it with the powder. I don't know why, I just didn't, okay? The primer is all set and blended, and now we're picking up our palette, which is the Celestial Divinity palette by Mother Pat McGrath. I'm taking the color Venomous Void on a Rephr number 2 brush. I'm using that brush to put this color on the inner corner. I'm also going to be putting it on the outer corner. I chose this palette for several reasons. It's one that I haven't used as much, and also one of you lovely people said that you purchased your first Pat McGrath palette and it was this one. So I just wanted to give you a look that maybe you can do. I'm taking that same brush and tapping into Major Mahogany. I'm going to use that color to deepen the Venomous Void color. There are 3 mattes in this palette: Venomous Void, Major Mahogany, and later I'm going to use Venusian Orchid. I just grabbed the NYX Pigment Primer. For some reason, I think I thought I was picking up the glitter primer, but you know, whatevs. Putting a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take a brush and tap it into the middle of my eyelid, so right between the 2 deeper colors. Now I am taking a Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush and picking up the color Corruption. The crazy thing is, initially, in my opinion, in the pan, it looked a little gold. But then I put it on my eye and I was like, that's not gold. But it's okay. I'm gonna still work with it. I was so thrown off, I forgot to tell you what I'm doing. So I am taking that color and patting it on top of the pigment primer. And now, same brush, just kind of turned it over. I am picking up the color Bronze Nebula and putting that right on top of Corruption. I wish I had something like quippy to say about Corruption, but I don't. I'm going back into Corruption and taking a light layer and patting it on top of Bronze Nebula. So remember in the beginning when we started with Venomous Void and Major Mahogany, I'm taking those 2 shades on a Rephr 16 brush and using that to deepen those colors a bit more. One thing to note is that there's only a teeny tiny bit of fallout as I use these shades. Now I'm just freshening up the first eye that I did that, you know, I've been wearing for like 10 hours. Just because I want to make sure that the 2 looks are similar somehow. So just taking that Bronze Nebula and patting onto both of my eyelids with my finger and then going back in with the Rephr brush to blend everything together. And suddenly I remembered that I had taken the Venusian orchid to also help blend out some of the harsh edges of those deeper colors. So I've officially used all of the 3 mattes in the palette. Moving on to using the It Superhero Mascara to coat my lashes. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay Perversion Liner and lining my top lash line. How many times can I say line? Now that that's done, I'm taking a BK Beauty 204 brush, dipping into smoked amethyst, and using that to put on the lower lash line. I'm using the same color and brush to smudge a bit onto the upper lash line. Now on a BK Beauty 207 brush, I am dipping into the shade Bronze and putting that on the inner corner of both eyes. I figured I would touch up the rest of my makeup, so I'm taking the Danessa Myricks Balm Contour in the shade Deep 2 on a Rephr number 5 brush and just freshening up that contour I put on earlier in the day. And now I am taking my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in number 4. Yes, that is pan that you see. I am taking a BK Beauty 102 large powder brush to buff the powder in, as well as just blend everything together. And here we go with the Juvia's Place lipstick in a mauve moment. Just using that to freshen up my lipstick a little bit. And then I was like, oh wait, let's get that Pat McGrath highlighter. Yes. And putting it on my face. As always, it's time to zhuzh the hair, pose for the camera, click, click. So here is the finished look. It's very mauve, or do you say mauve? It's very mauve / mauve. I had lashes on earlier, but they were hanging on for dear life. So I went ahead and took those off and just stuck with mascara. Hopefully the looks are similar, because I definitely have a difficult time recreating on one eye what I did on the other eye, which is why I tend to actually do my eye makeup concurrently rather than consecutively. I've been watching and listening to a lot of true crime, and so you know the terms that they get in terms of punishment are sometimes concurrent, sometimes consecutive, and those words are in my head. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.